and white trash talking.
Hello world, I'm White Trash Talking, I'm Doug Johnson. And today, before we begin, I want to remind listeners, viewers, to like and subscribe. And don't forget to do that. So today I want to talk about what's going on in Gaza, because it's in the news and it's really important. There's been some recent developments. One is that they've weaponized starvation, and two is there's talk of openly of moving Palestinians, Gazans out permanently. So let's look at a Haaretz news article. It says that Israel is preparing to occupy Gaza, reinstate military rule, and fully control the Palestinian population. Okay, so occupying Gaza is nothing new. It was occupied until 2005, and they ceased the occupation because it became untenable. It was too difficult, too expensive, and the residents in Gaza were in too much danger. It required too much work on the part of the IDF to defend them, protect them, because the area is so small. So they ended the occupation, but at the same time, the very next year, in 2006, they expanded the wall and by the tune of a couple $100 million, and made it into impenetrable barrier, which basically made Gaza an open prison, and it's been that way since 2006. But if you look at the history of Gaza, Gaza didn't always exist as Gaza, the Gaza Strip. It was just part of Palestine. But in 1948, the Israelis, in their attempt to drive out the Palestinians, they were driving out 800,000 of them, the majority of the Palestinian population at the time, from their homes. And they got them as far as what's now Gaza, to the sea. But Egypt would not open their borders and let them in. So the Palestinians remained there. That's how the Gaza Strip began. It was initially the result of a failed ethnic cleansing. So the Israelis are, I'm more determined this time to get it done, I think. So let's look at another Israeli article. This is again from Haaretz. It says, Israeli government approves Bureau for Voluntary Emigration of Palestinians from Gaza. Well, voluntary, if you're using food and bombing as an incentive for leaving, starvation, you starve people and then you say, look, right through that border in Egypt or into the Sinai Desert, there's food set up there, and there's tents, and you get some medical care, you save your children's lives. And people are desperate enough to do that, which I could understand if they are. That's not voluntary. So this is what's going on. In fact, here's another article where recently an Israeli minister said, bomb the food stores in Gaza. And he said, quote, the Palestinians in Gaza, need to starve. If there are civilians who fear for their lives, they should go through the emigration plan. Okay, so this is all part of a plan. And it was spoken of at the very, very beginning 2 years ago, 18 months ago. They said, we're going to starve them. We're going to cut off their water and electricity. They've done all of that. So now here we are. We're 8 weeks into an embargo that has completely shut off the food going into Gaza, and they're running out of food. And I want to play something from Bisan Auda. She's a Gazan who is an activist and journalist, and she recently won the Peabody Award because of her excellent daily coverage. She works for Al Jazeera, and she's a great source of information on what's going on in Gaza. I recommend everyone follow her, Bisan Auda. Okay, so Here she talks about takkya, and this is the Palestinians' approach to food and sharing food and the communal kitchens that enable that and how they're under attack. So let's listen to Bisan speak.
Takkya is the enemy of starvation. Whenever you hear takkya, that means it's the community kitchen, and this is our way to cope with the starvation, the forced starvation, and with the reality that the Israeli army is preventing us from producing food, planting our own food, or even importing food, or even distributing the aids that are sent, because they are closing the borders for approximately 70 days now. So takkya is something from our heritage. This is how we help other people. We cook for each other. We put on fire. We use our own resources in huge pots, and then we distribute this food to the family or the neighbors. And unfortunately, takkya or takkiyas or the community kitchens have become just a very important way to live.
You know, I used to live in Palestine. I lived in the West Bank, which is not Gaza. And if you don't know that the two are not contiguous, Gaza is separated from the West Bank, and you can't enter from one to the other. Even the Palestinians can't do that. So I never got into Gaza, but I lived in Jenin for 3 years. I taught at a university there. And I can tell you that there's no place on the planet better for food. They grow their own food. The food is fresh and excellent. And Bisan here is talking about the heritage of that. And, you know, like I used to get invited almost every weekend to a student's home. They proudly invited me. The whole family would gather around. And they would put a tarp on the floor. Everyone would sit around on the floor. They'd have dishes like makalube, which is an upside-down dish. And it's hard to explain, but they take the pot and then they turn it over and pull it up, and the stuff is sitting there. And it's baked chicken with, I mean, amazing stuff baked in. It's incredibly good. And a big, big pile of it. Not just a, you know, just a pile. It's spread over the floor, right? And so you sit around and you can't eat it. It's too much, even for 20 people. And they keep saying, here, eat, come on. Mr. Douglas, eat, please. You haven't eaten anything, come on. And I would just get so full, and that's how they are with food, and it was so good. And they would have falafel that's better than anywhere else in the world. The hummus is world class, the best in the world. So this is the heritage, which is under attack. It's being destroyed now. Let's listen to Bisan continue.
Survive. So they bombed takkya. Not only one, they bombed over 25 takkiyas or community kitchens since the beginning of the genocide. We're not gonna let you enter your food or plant your food or make food for each other's. We're gonna watch you die, okay? Because why not? No one is stopping us. No one is doing anything. Israel is starving a whole population, okay? Using hunger as a weapon. It was used in the Second World War. Having a whole population, 50% of this population are children.
50% of the population are children. Now let's take a look at what effect this food blockade and attacks on the takkya is having. They're running out of food. Let's take a look. So they're not only fighting to get food for themselves, they are starving, they're very, very hungry, but they're fighting to save the lives of their family members as well. They got babies back at the tents now, because they're all living in tents, and elderly, and there's not enough food for everybody. So you've got to get there and get some food, otherwise you could die. You hear that sound overhead, it's a drone, they drop bombs. So they hear that day and night, and they know that they could be bombed, they're next. This child has passed away.
لقيت أسامة وزنه 9 كيلو، ما في عنده عضلات ولا يعني جسمه نحيف جدا جدا.
يعني مش مكتسبة مني ولا من صناعي. فالدكتور كتب لها حليب مخصص ودوروا عليه في البلد ومش لاقين. يعني البنت صار معاها نزلة معوية وصار معاها جفاف.
كانت هيك قبل الحرب، لكن نتيجة الحرب صارت هيك. رغم بتعاني من
تشرب عصير؟ بدها خروب ولا التاني؟
احنا في مزاعم، انا صرت ضعيفة وبدنا نادي. انا جوني قريب عمري 6 من غزة.
It's beyond me how we as a world community are allowing this. And this is becoming normalized. Children are growing up with this on their phone, and they're witnessing a genocide and a starvation, and I just don't know what we are becoming. I want to play a clip by a Jewish woman named Miriam Margolis. She's 83 years old and an actress. She's American, I believe. And she, like many, many Jews around the world, are speaking out against this. They're saying, this is not in my name. Judaism and Zionism are not even compatible. They don't even overlap. And maybe I'll do a segment on that where the Orthodox Jews are speaking out very strongly against this genocide. But here's a woman that's basically, what she said, I think, sums it up.
Hitler has won. He's changed us, Jews, from being compassionate and caring and do unto others as you would have them do unto you, into this vicious, genocidal, nationalist nation, pursuing and killing women and children. I'm 83, and I have never been so ashamed of Israel as I am at this moment. But what we are doing, Jewish people, over in Israel, is shocking, embarrassing, and wicked. And I cannot understand why all Jewish people, particularly members of synagogues, do not want immediately to stop what is going on.
Yeah, why everyone in the world doesn't want it to stop. You should understand that Zionism is what is at the root of this, and U.S. support of Zionism. And the leadership in the U.S., they're Zionists, and it's not compatible with Judaism or any major religion Okay, I'll leave it at that. Please like and subscribe. Please leave a comment, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye.